Hi everyone. Today I am going to walk you through the EVERYDOLLAR budgeting tool. You can actually download this on your phone. They have the app available as well. So you can connect to either the desktop version or the version on your tablet or phone at any point. So for this purpose today, I'm just going to show you what it looks like once you are in the app itself. So we'll go ahead and we'll sign in. And then it brings me to my current monthly budget. Now you can see here for this demonstration, I've just gone ahead and already inserted a few items. When you are first setting up this app, I love that they go through and they have you do some of it initially, and they go in order of priority. So they start with your income, and then they ask you, okay, what's your debt like? What is your housing like? What are those bigger items? And then once you're done with that, you'll be brought to the main page, which is this, and you'll be able to fill in some of those more obscure items. So like lifestyle will be blank, but I've already gone in and done a few things. Health will be blank already. Insurance would be blank. So today I'm going to show you some of the tools, some of the features here so that as you're setting it up, you know exactly where to go. So first things first, you will see in every category there is always the add option. So you can add a line item at any point and in any category, which is great. You can also delete. So for example, let's say I'm here in housing and I don't have natural gas. I don't have to leave it as a line item. I can actually go ahead, click it, and then hit the delete button. It'll ask me to confirm, and now it is gone. And the great thing about this too is you don't have to just delete an item and then add again if you want something else. You can actually write over it. So if I don't have cable and I want to replace that, I can put anything here. Now let's say I actually own a home. So in this example, I would probably want some sort of fund for either house repairs or just general home maintenance. Home improvement is what I'm going to call it. And that could be any sort of category, again, that you stick in any of these buckets. So I'm going to put home improvement, and now it is a category. You will see here at the top for this current month, I have $578.50 left to budget. The big thing with the EVERYDOLLAR budget is it's a zero-based budgeting tool. So really you need to be giving every single dollar a home. Every dollar for dollar has to be working. So I'm going to put in here, because I am saying I'm a homeowner, something small every month so that I have it set aside. So we'll just say $70. And like that. Now what you'll see down here in my transportation category, I have a gas fund for my car, and then I have a maintenance fund. And you'll see there's this little piggy bank. Okay, so what that piggy bank means is this is a fund, and it actually will carry over month to month any balance that remains, which is why you see here $25 is my planned amount, but $50 as my remaining amount. So when I click on maintenance, this pops up on the side. I can click details, and you'll see that I told it I already had $25 when I started my budget, and that I'm planning to add another 25. So now I have a total of 50. And because it's a maintenance fund, I might be saving up for, new tires, because I'll know eventually I'll need new tires. Maybe I'll need new tires in the next 8 to 9 months. So I'm starting to save for that now. So if I had a goal in mind, I could put that here if I wanted, and I could also set a due date. So let's say, for example, I know for a fact I'm going to need to have new tires by February 1. And so my goal is to have, $400, $500 set aside by February 1. I could put a due date here in the calendar. What I also love about this app, like I said, anything that's in a fund will carry over. You can also see what's planned, and you can see what's remaining, but you can switch that over to spent. So now I can actually see what has been spent so far in the month. And obviously, because I just started this budget, I haven't put any of my expenses in yet. But once I do that, this will all start to change and everything will shift. So let's go ahead and just do a really quick example, and we'll do groceries. Oops. So we're going to add new. And again, you see it's an expense. So I'm going to say I just spent $98.90 on groceries. Here is where I can change this to say any store. So I personally like to know where it came from. So let's just say I'm using AZ Grocery. That's where I bought it. And you'll see this is the category. You can even split it up so that it can be dispersed amongst different line items if you wanted. So let's say part of this was not in fact groceries and it was maybe something you would consider to be hair or cosmetics. You can split it up as well. So I'm going to hit track. And there it is. Now it shows I've spent $98.90 out of the $300 that I have planned. And again, when I switch it, it now tells me $201.10 remaining. And again, you'll kind of see this progress bar to tell me. And it does that on both. So you'll see it's saying how much is now spent. So I really like that about it. If you're a visual person, I think the app in particular, which is what I pretty much use exclusively, is super straightforward, super easy. And again, really visual. So again, we have to make sure we use all of this money here because it wants you to zero out every single month. That doesn't mean you're spending it all on frivolous things. You should be saving money as well, okay? So you have to be smart about where you're allocating your money. So let's just go through real fast and make sure all of my big items are checked off, which it looks like they are. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we have an emergency fund. So in this, we're gonna put all $500 into an emergency fund. And you'll see it automatically made that a fund itself because of the name emergency fund. When I opened the app without having to do anything, this was already a fund because the idea is that this is something you only touch when you absolutely need it for those unexpected items. Now, how you would go about removing money from this if you were to spend your emergency fund, just like any other category, you would make a transaction. So I'm going to go here and hit add new. It's going to be an expense. And let's say I did have an emergency that I didn't plan for and I had to get my washer repaired, my washer and dryer. So we're going to say it costs $255. Oops. Okay, and that's coming out of the emergency fund. I can tell it what it was. So let's say washer and dryer repair. And we're going to hit track. Beautiful. So now you'll see it says $255 has been spent. So when I click over to remaining, I now have $245. So with $8.50 left, I'm just going to go ahead now and say this should all be here just so I can try and beef up my emergency fund again, because now I'm less than 500. I'm actually at 253.50. So there's what it would look like once you're in the app. And as you can see, now you have this lovely little green box that says it's an EVERYDOLLAR budget. And so that means I've done something good, meaning I've allocated all of my money to a category. So again, you can make any of these funds at any point. So I personally have a lot of my items as funds because I like to be able to carry it over. So to do that, again, you go here and you click make this a fund. You don't have to have a starting balance. You can literally say you started at 0 and you can have your plan, and you don't have to have a savings goal. So like groceries, I don't have a savings goal per se. I just kind of want to be able to allocate for months I might spend more on groceries versus months I may not. So when you do that, you're now here. And you can see already the transaction that has been made. What I also wanted to point out is this gray star at the top. that makes any of these categories a favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it has now been added to my favorites group. And you'll see automatically it has brought this up to a brand new category, a brand new group that is now labeled favorites. It will always appear right after your income. So what I like about that is any category you use frequently, anything that you're tracking a lot of, rather than having to scroll through and find it, you can have it brought right to the top, and it'll always appear here in this favorites category. It will still live in its respective, grouping, so it still lives under food here, but now I have it at the top as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say for restaurants that I would make this a fund as well. And we can say I had a starting balance, maybe from last month, I had a starting balance of $50. And then you hit save. And again, that is now a favorites. So now you can see I planned $0 here for this month, but I had $50 that I rolled over from the previous month. So technically, when I now go in and I click to make an expense, let's say I just went out and I had $12.75. And I went to, I don't know, Moe's. I can click track, and now you will see it is at $37.25 as what's remaining. And again, at any point, you can look over and you can see what's been spent, and you can see what's remaining in your budget on the side as well. I really like that. Now, let's say you're in the app and you're working on paying down some debts right now. Okay, so let's go down here. So debts, you can see here I have student loan, I have $300 planned. I have $0 paid so far. So what I would want to do when I make any sort of payment on this is I would just want to track it, right? So I would say here, add new, and I'm going to say I spent $300 on my student loan. We're going to track that. I'm going to say no thank you to the paid version. And now it shows that it has been paid so far. And again, when you're in this app, you can quickly and easily add and subtract things. Like I said, if you have categories you're not going to use, like right now I'm paying off debt, so I'm probably not going to be giving extra money to charity, I could just go ahead and just delete it. And again, completely write over a category as well. So it's really straightforward, really easy. Even on the app is extremely versatile. What I did want to point out is this add group function. So let's say one of these buckets doesn't really apply to you, like you need something else here. So you can click add group, and now it's untitled. I can make it literally anything I want. So let's say I have strictly a vacation bucket, and I can click add item, and I can say we're gonna put hotel. But then let's say I also want to put plane tickets, because I'm trying to itemize a little bit and I'm trying to know exactly what I'm spending on this vacation, okay? And then maybe I say, well, on this vacation I have to eat, so we're going to put food as its own item. So now I've gone in and I've made a whole new category just for this. So it's really straightforward. Now, when you're done with your budget and you've tracked, let's say you want to carry it over to the next month and you don't want to have to start over every single time. Well, this app will do that for you. So I just go up here to the month, and now I would click on September. And you will see it automatically brought over what I told it from the month before, okay? Now, if you don't like it and you think, oh, well, it's really far off from the previous month, and last month was a fluke, but September is a more standard month for me, you can actually go in here and click this reset budget. I would not recommend you do that lightly, because I will show you. It will tell you, hey, I'm going to replace everything in here. Any transactions that have been here, you're going to lose them, okay? So we're going to click it. And you will now see that everything is back to remaining. So anything I had not spent. Now you'll see in groceries, because in the previous month I only had one transaction, it now shows I have $501 here for groceries in particular, okay? Because again, you didn't spend it all and it's a fund, so it brought it over from the previous month. And again, I can click it back and then I can see what's remaining. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you guys. I really think if you've never had to properly track your budget, this is a great start for you. It's not like some of those apps that are really in depth and try to get like portfolios and retirement and incorporate a bunch of other stuff. If this is strictly for you to track what's coming in and what's coming out so you can have ownership of your money, this is probably the best app for you. I did want to point out one or two other things here. You'll see that you can always make a transaction by clicking this button here at the top. And I can literally just say add new, and I can make a new expense. And again, you choose your item as to where it would be coming out of. So if I wanted to say, oh, it's coming out of medicine, then boom, it's going to come out of medicine. What I also like about this particular app, this particular budgeting tool, is that they have this Ramsey Pros option, even in the free version. So if you are looking for maybe somebody to help you with, retirement, or you're looking into a home, like they will connect you with people that Dave Ramsey says are tried and true, that he approves, that believe in following his basic 7 baby steps, and they believe in getting out of debt and having financial freedom. So I think that's also a nice little feature that they included on the free version. And they also have here within the budgeting tool, this learn and this baby steps. So the baby steps is really neat because it's showing me where I am along my journey according to his 7 baby steps. And right now it's saying, hey, you still have to save your $1,000. It knows that just based on what I put in that fund. And once I'm done with that, it'll bring me to baby step 2 and say, hey, you still have to pay off your debt, any debt that I have in those categories. It will appear and they'll say, hey, you still have to pay this off. So I really like this feature. I really like that if you are actively working through the baby steps, it goes along with you. I think that's a neat concept. So hopefully this has been really helpful for you guys. I did want to just point out one other thing here. If you ever have a refund, it's just like making a transaction. You would go about it the same way. So perfect example would be if, let's say last month I had an item that I returned, I could go in here, click on my category, and then click this add new. And instead of clicking expense, I can click income. And I can say, oh, well, I had to return an item. Let's say I returned, I don't know, a piece of equipment, right? Like it was some blow dryer or something, I don't know. And let's say I spent $45 on it. Well, now I'm gonna get that back, and all I had to do was click income, and it will actually allocate it back to that category. Especially if you have funds, this is a great way to keep track of like what's coming in and what's going out. I know for us, we were doing some home improvement recently. We had a whole line item for it. And there were several times my husband had to take something back. We bought the wrong size of something, or not enough of a material, or too much of a material. So we were able to actually say, did we stick to our budget? Was this project within budget? And this is the tool we used. We just said income, and whatever we had returned, it went right back into that category. So you'll actually see now, it says I have $65 remaining because I added that back into this particular category. And you can literally do that for any and every single category. So again, I love this tool. I think it's really easy, really straightforward. If you are in it and you absolutely love it, you can consider upgrading to the the paid for version with Dave Ramsey. There are some other bonus features they give you, like this insights. You would get this on the Ramsey Plus version so that you can kind of see, where do you spend the most of your money? how do you track over time, you know, income versus your spend? It kind of does an analysis for you. So something to consider if you like it. But again, even if you did not pay for it, I love the free version. And I think it really is all you need when it comes to making your budget. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them below. And I hope to catch you on the next video.